My name is Duddits, I do builds and stuff, and today I've got an absolutely massive damage reduction build featuring the Stag on the Arc Warlock and the Navigator to give us woven mail. Some other stuff going on as well, and we're going to stack some absolutely insane damage reduction, so stay tuned. I'm going to break it all down. So the Stag, an exotic Warlock helmet. The Rift provides damage reduction to allied guardians standing in it. Grants Rift energy whenever you are critically wounded. On your death, it creates a healing rift over your corpse. So a 25% damage reduction just for putting your rift down is pretty good, but we've also got Spark of Resistance. While surrounded by combatants, you have more resistance to incoming damage as well. So there's a further 25% damage reduction, 50% with both of them. We've even got more than that as well, because we've got electric armor this season. Gain a damage resistance while you are amplified. That is another 25%. So all three of these things working together is 75% damage reduction. All three of these working together is nuts, but we can even go a little bit further than that with the Navigator. This applies woven mail whenever you shoot at a target for so long, or you shoot at your teammate for a couple of seconds. It's going to give you woven mail, and that is a further 40% damage reduction. So it's an absolutely massive damage reduction altogether. And as you've seen in the very first clip, this was the Master Valve I just loaded in on my own to see how much damage I could tank from Savathun and all these Arc Knights booming me. The next thing I wanted to do was go check it in a master dungeon, so I went into Ghosts of the Deep, see if I could sponge some unstoppable ground punches, see if you can sponge them. These usually really hurt you. If not kill you, they nearly leave you one shot, but as you can see there, I was very easily able to tank that. So it's an absolutely insane combo to run if you've got this set up, and in particular it is really good on an Arc Warlock, because this season with the seasonal artifacts, and Arc is already actually really good on a Warlock anyway for rad clearance. You're getting the best of both with this setup, which we'll go into a bit more. It's not only about the damage resistance, we're going to be able to put out some damage as well with our grenades, but it's super strong. Master Lost Sector, just to tick that off the box. So we've done all the master stuff just to show it off, and I've got enemies left, right and centre, maybe 7 or 8 enemies shooting me here, and I'm very comfortable indeed. So I'm just going to quickly go over my fragments and aspects to get this sort of nailed. Electrostatic Mind, defeating targets with arc abilities or defeating jolted or blinded targets creates an ionic trace. Collecting an ionic trace makes us amplified. Arc Soul is another bonus to this build, because every time you put your rift down, you're going to create Arc Souls for you and your teammate, so you're going to get resistance and put out damage as well. Spark of Magnitude, your lingering pulse grenades have a longer duration. Spark of Shock to make your grenades jolt targets. Spark of Resistance, which we've already touched on, 25% reduction, and a Spark of Feedback. Taking melee damage briefly increases your outgoing melee damage. And if you just watch this little clip here, just keep an eye on my rift energy, because obviously you want to be getting this rift back as much as possible. You're going to see how much I get back. Look how quick you're getting it back. That is the Stag kicking in on its own, and I've also got some other mods to show you as well to improve getting that rift energy back really quick. And as you can see there, I was just able to loop these rifts all the time, just consistently refreshing them. So stay tuned, I'm going to show you some mods enable us to do that. On our arms, we've got Bolstering Detonation, grants class ability whenever you cause damage with a grenade. This is an absolutely great mod. Impact Induction, causing damage with a melee attack reduces your grenade cooldown. And then Firepower, your grenade final blows creates orbs of power. I found these particular setup really good little combination. Bomber reduces grenade cooldown when you use your class ability. Reaper, every time we use our class ability we're going to spawn an orb. And then I also like to run Utility Kickstart. That's just going to give us about 20% of our rift down before we get into anything else on the build. 20% just for putting your rift down is super strong. I also like to run on my legs, stacks on stacks, because getting 2 armor charges when you use Utility Kickstart does give you a little bit more back. And then the other 2 I just buffed out my grenade and melee grenade and class ability recharge rate with innovation and insulation. Both of them cool down your grenade and your class ability, so it's a nice little combo to run for picking up orbs. And then what you'll see in this clip, again, just want to sort of go over all the mods that I was just talking about. You'll see it all working together. When I throw my grenade, you're just going to be able to loop that class ability back just like that. Really good. So you can consistently keep looping, and that's without the exotic trait on the Stag actually kicking in. whenever you're critically wounded. But just one grenade is just going to literally give you about 40% of your class ability back. So it's a really nice little mod to put on. That topped up with your utility kickstart and the exotic trait is really, really good. Now, what I also found with this in GMs, all the master stuff that I was doing, you are really, really helpful as well for you and your teammates. And just the utility of having it, you sponge things that you shouldn't normally sponge, and it sort of goes under the radar. But these little sniper shanks in here, things like that, these usually absolutely hammer you, but it hardly take any damage off me at all. And you just start to notice things after you've used this for a couple of hours. Things that you should die from, you're thinking, oh hang on, I've just lost a bit of health there, and you're like, why? And then you look around and something stomped you, and that would have killed you normally, if that makes sense. So you do notice little things, just like that. Usually that would like leave you like almost one shot, or if not kill you. But because you're in that rift and you've got all that protection going on, and like I said, the actual utility of an Arc Warlock this season is absolutely nuts. So you are going to be able to help your teammates out as well, or even if you're doing solo stuff, you're still going to be able to put out damage with the Navigator anyway, with Strand Burn on a lot of activities this season. So it's sort of a best of both, in my opinion. Loads of damage reduction, and you're going to be able to put out loads of damage. And like I said, just to sort of clarify, I've tested it in the hardest content in the game, I believe, all master stuff, GMs, Master Raids, Master Dungeons, Master Lost Sectors, all ticked off. Now, the other thing I just want to touch on before you go is I did do a build with Renewal Grasps and the Navigator as well. Going to get some serious damage reduction on that for our hunters. So, just see what you think of this one as well. If you haven't seen it, I did post this video the other day, but it's a similar build, a little bit more to it. You do have to sort of build into it a little bit more on a hunter with Renewal Grasps, but you can get some serious damage reduction on that. I will leave that video link as well in the description, but I'm just going to leave this playing out just in case you missed it. But it's some serious damage reduction on a hunter as well. And also what I want to do in the near future, maybe for weekend, is maybe do a Titan build, maybe stack some overshields, or a Laurel build with woven mail as well, and some damage reduction. Let me know if you think of anything. I will make it for Saturday. So then we've got all three classes covered with reduction builds. Like I said, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Have a great week.